Yo, welcome back to channel BQuanchi here. Back at it again, doing a tier maker video. It's been a while, and I actually made this one myself. Because sometimes I get a little picky about it too, so you can see it's a little bit more labeled and kind of more created. So if you did want to make a tier maker based on this one, I'll put a link in the description. And also, the best way to support me in the channel is to like, comment, and subscribe, which you can do on YouTube, on X, Twitter, on Twitch, more gaming stuff than anything else. I do have a playlist of tier maker videos. I'm actually not sure how popular or relevant they are, but I was in the mood for it, and I like me some cakes. It's funny, most of my tier makers are game related or food related. So, and I always put like the link to the tier maker. So if you want to have fun with that, be my guest and let me know in the comments if I should do more of these or what you like to see on the channel. But besides this, a lot of gaming stuff as well. So I didn't go too crazy, but I have a good selection of cake for this tier maker. And this is simple: A, B, C, D, and F for the ranking. I think tier maker has it so you can like edit the tier list and whatever. But yeah, that's what I have for this video. So we're going to start off with chocolate cake. And to spoil some of this, definitely a big chocolate person. So chocolate cake, definitely in the top. Especially if it has a really good chocolate frosting to it. And yep, and then next we have white cake. And I'm gonna give this a C. I rarely like white cake, especially with white frosting. It's sweet, it's good, so I would say it's definitely mid. Uh, and all that. So I think that's a good deserving spot for it. And next we have yellow cake, which I don't think it's too different. I'm not sure, compared to like white cake, but usually with chocolate frosting. So I'm gonna give that a B. I'm tempted to throw it into the A, but my philosophy with yellow cake is that it has to be frosted with chocolate frosting. If it's not, then you're completely wrong. But yeah, it's very tempting, but I'm not sure what makes yellow cake better than white cake. But I don't know, maybe it's that nice color and has it usually pairs well with the chocolate frosting. And next we have strawberry cake. So I'll give this a B. I like to mix it up. I don't see this too often. In terms of like actual strawberry flavored cake, like you get the cake mixes and stuff like that. I think you use like a buttercream or something, or even like a strawberry frosting wouldn't be too bad. So if I want something different, I'm not opposed to a strawberry cake and all that. And I've even seen like again, I put this cake list together, so some of them like I would still eat even though they rank lower than A and all that. But speaking of A, red velvet cake goes up there. I think red velvet cake is pretty much chocolate cake and how it's dyed. I thought there was something about like using bugs to get the dye from it, but it's usually with that buttercream or cream cheese frosting. That's it. Yeah, which I really like. So you usually see that with the cream cheese frosting and all that. So definitely one of my two favorites, especially so far. Is red velvet. I don't know, it's just because like you see it being red, and usually with the buttercream, you don't think of it as chocolate cake. But I think it uses cocoa. I'm not too sure because I'm not like a chef or baker or anything like that. But I know what I like to eat, and I like to eat some red velvet cake. Next is carrot cake, and this I'm going to put in F. I don't like vegetables in my desserts or very often, and well, that's kind of like because I know there's some other stuff coming up in this tier maker. I think it's typically just a spice cake, but with the pieces of carrot of it with it. I don't know. I just like I would never want it. Like I'll eat it if I have it and it's free and all that. But yeah, definitely one of my least favorite cakes. Like I typically avoid um, pretty much all costs. But yeah, it's cake. So at the end of the day, it is still something that you can eat. And then Black Forest cake. So this is kind of a chocolate cake with cherries, and I forget what makes it different. But because I like other chocolate cakes more, I'm gonna give this one a C. Yeah, because I don't know. I feel like I'll definitely enjoy some Black Forest cake, especially if you have like fresh cherries on it. They'll use like a little cherry on top, and yeah, I think it's the like I don't want to be too biased with my chocolates and all that, but I think that's a good place for at least my taste. And then next we have orange creamsicle cake, which I don't see too often. Like sometimes I'll see like in a pre-made bakery section at a grocery store or something like that. Uh, I'm also gonna give it a C. I would say it's very close to strawberry cake for me, but I think I would choose it less often if given the choice. So I would say it's kind of mid. It's definitely a good way to mix things up. And plus, like I like that orange creamsicle, but sometimes when it comes to cake, I'd rather go for something a little bit more traditional, like with chocolate cake and all that. And next we have angel food cake. I'm gonna give that an F because it's like one of those things like I like it more than carrot cake, but I probably like would never eat it. I know sometimes it's used as strawberry shortcake as well, so if you have to doctor it up just to make it better, that says a little bit less about it. But yeah, I would have to really doctor it up, like drizzle chocolate syrup or whipped cream and strawberries or something like that. But just regular angel food cake is just boring and all that. And then next we have devil's food cake, and, and I just like know what I like, and I like some chocolate. I think devil's food cake is more richer than typical chocolate cake, so that's why there's two different chocolate cakes that are almost the same. I don't know, maybe because it has a word devil in it, and I kind of like, ooh, I feel naughty eating all this chocolate and sweets and all that. Um, yeah, so I think that's definitely a good spot. I'm just curious not to give me more excuse to eat cake, but just have chocolate cake and devil cake side by side and see if I can really tell the difference between them. But you can't go wrong with the devil. Don't take that out of context, but whatever. And then spice cake. I feel like carrot cake is this, but carrot cake has carrots and this doesn't. I like it, but I'm gonna give it a D, just because I feel like other cakes are. You know what? I'm changing it up. I'm gonna give white cake the D and spice cake the C. Changing it up that way, because when I think about it, I would definitely take spice cake over white cake. Yeah, even though white cake's good, um, yeah, that definitely is. So a little change up. I'm usually trying to be set in my ways with building these tier makers, but we have some last minute changes. But just because I like it more than white cake, I think white cake has to go down a tier. And then we have lemon cake. Another one I don't see too often. But I think it's like blends together with like white cake, yellow cake, strawberry cake, and all that. Um, I'm gonna give it a D. Even though I like it, I'll probably like it more than white cake. But I I think as I like look at the list, I'd say yeah, it's definitely below these ones. I think if you have a good one, but I think it's like one of the things that aren't as popular and all that. And next we have pumpkin cake. I'm tempted. I'm going to give it a B. I don't want to put it too high. And I'm also just realized I'm just like looking ahead, and I'm not being too particular because I was just thinking like putting everything in A just because I love cake and all that. Um, but when I was younger, I was picky about pumpkin. Like I think because desserts were usually like pumpkin pie, and not too much of a pie person. But I like to be good like pumpkin baked good, whether it be like cake or muffin or something like that. And I think it typically uses a cream cheese frosting, so I think it's similar to a spice cake, but I like it a lot more. To the point that I even made some from scratch before in the past. And then next we have strawberry shortcake. This one I'm gonna give it a C. Um, I'm not sure what makes it traditional besides the strawberries and cream, of course, but um, I think you use angel food for strawberry shortcake. I think I've seen other like pound cake or even like yellow cakes. I think it's not just based off that, but I think it's just like a cake with strawberries and cream, um, which is a pretty good cake. I'm debating with strawberry cake and strawberry shortcake, and I was second guessing, but I think I would like the more like strawberry cake with the flavor throughout the cake with a good frosting versus that. So I think that's the right choice for me. And then next, pineapple upside down cake. I'm gonna give this a D. I like pineapple. It's a good cake, but I just don't get that often. I think the last time I even had it was on manager special at the grocery store, so it was at a discount. Um, yeah, I like the idea of it. Maybe I haven't had a really good one. And it's kind of a fun idea, like to have all these pineapples and stuff. Like you bake it upside down and you flip it over and all that. But yeah, I think D for me for pineapple upside down cake, and then coffee cake. mm, I'm gonna give this one a C. Uh, just because it doesn't seem like cake to me. It seems like a snack cake. Even though you can like build it like in a cake pan or a cake loaf, and of course like it's meant to be really good with coffee, and it's just like usually a cinnamon sugar, sweet cake and all that. So I definitely do like it a lot, but it's not my go-to for when I want like actual cake. And yeah, that seems right to me. And then we have marble cake, which uh, I'll give it a B. I think it's just kind of like because usually I get this at like for the grocery store. I'm not sure like what the main method of making marble cake because usually it's like white cake and chocolate cake like mixed together. Maybe not too bad to make, but uh, I definitely like more than white cake, but less than chocolate cake. And since usually there's chocolate in it, I feel like B is a good spot for it. Next, we're getting into like different styles of cake. So we have cheesecake. So instead of like going like in depth with like, oh here's regular cheesecake, here's fruit top cheesecake, here's chocolate cheesecake, all that. It's just cheesecake all together, and it's definitely an A. I definitely like the sweeter ones that are well, it's all sweet, but more like the chocolate one. It would have like a chocolate drizzle or chocolate peanut butter or whatever. Like, go to Cheesecake Factory and see how many different cheesecakes there are, but they're all pretty good. Um, I think pistachio, which you rarely see, is probably one I wouldn't touch, but pretty much all cheesecake is good for me. So definitely top tier for that. And again, this is going more off style than flavor, but cupcakes. And cupcakes are an A. I think it's just kind of convenient so you can just like have a cupcake and eat it versus cutting a slice, having leftover cake, and all that. Um, and then there's so many different flavors and combinations. Especially like that thing where you can like cut the cupcake in half and flip the top over and make a cupcake sandwich, which was good. Yeah, usually it's like cake like base and then a good amount of frosting. Like I like a good amount of frosting on top of the cake. So it's not just because of versatility that you can pretty much make whatever you want into a cupcake, but just like eating it. Like sometimes I just like, since it's like pretty much finger food, have that over a slice of cake and all that. Especially if you just want a little bit versus a big fat slice of cake. So yeah, definitely cupcakes are but one of the top tiers, even though it's kind of a loose term and all that. And then bun cake. Um, I'm gonna give this a B, because I think it kind of depends on what kind of cake you get. Because sometimes they seem like just a cake, almost like a loaf cake in the bun pan, or like in this picture, if it's like really frosted, I think that's the big thing. I even like those mini bundt cakes that one brand has. Or that one, I think, is a chain of bakery, nothing bundt cakes, but having like the small one where you get like good frosting. So a really good frosted uh, bundt cake is pretty much almost top tier. But in general, it kind of depends on what kind of bundt cake you have, and it's another thing. Like you can make whatever. I even made like a pumpkin cake with a bundt pan and then frosted it and all that. So I'm not sure if the shape really does too much, but especially if you cover it with a lot of frosting, it gives a good like frosting to cake ratio, in my opinion. And then we have the tiramisu. It's the most fanciest one for me, anyways. I'm gonna give that an A. I forget all the ingredients. A mascarpone. I think that's the very sweet cheese that they use, which sounds weird. Mascarpone cheese, espresso, and they use ladyfingers and stuff like that too. I really like it a lot. I think because it's a rare treat. Like I rarely have tiramisu, but I definitely like it a lot. So it is definitely top tier for me. And then next, German chocolate cake. I think this is pretty much just a chocolate cake, but they have like in the filling and the frosting is like coconut and chopped. I forget what chopped nuts, and usually I don't like nuts, but I think usually it's like finely chopped, so I don't really notice. I think it gives more texture than a nutty taste. But I'm gonna give it a B. Okay, because I'm judging it based off my chocolate cake rankings. Like I like it less than a full-on chocolate double sweet cake, but I like it more than Black Forest. So that's a good spot for it. The next ice cream cake, I'm gonna give that a C because I rarely eat it and I rarely want to get it. Just because usually I have ice cream on the side. It feels like when it's all together, it's like one big commitment. Like, oh no, you have leftovers, you have to shove it somewhere in the freezer because it's ice cream. Um, I think it's like if it's served to me at a party, I'll be like, yeah, of course, awesome time. Especially with again, you can be more flexible with the flavors and stuff like that. I know there's this one infomercial with like the cake. I think it was Brady Crocker. It had like a cake pan, and then you put something in the middle so you can fill it up with anything, and you can do it with like ice cream. But I forget what it's called. It's like an infomercial thing, but it's like um, filling the cake with these special pans with these round shapes. But I don't know if anyone know what I'm talking about. Then next we have Funfetti. So I think this is more like a niche or just like a gimmick with some of the brands, but I'm gonna give it a C. Typically it's white cake, but you have like the sprinkles like in the batter and all around. So I think just like it adds a little sweetness and a little extra sugar to it and a little extra texture too. But I usually see that with white cake. I don't really see that with like chocolate cake or anything like that. So it's okay. I'd say mostly because I like it more than white cake is why it's ranked right there in the middle. And then last but not least, fruitcake. And not to be the cliche, because that's the thing with Christmas, like everyone hates fruitcake, but it's bottom tier for me. So, and I feel like I can't think of a time I actually ate fruitcake. I'm not sure if it's just because like you see it in movies or TV shows around the holidays, how bad fruitcake is. So it doesn't seem like the worst idea, but I just think it's just some weird like dense pound cake with weird fruit in it. I think a lot of other people agree, but that'll do it for my tier maker for cake. So yeah, so if anyone wants to buy me a cake, these are the ones you can get me. Just give me a big tray of cupcakes, chocolate and red velvet, or whatever. But it's kind of it's kind of like simple and plain with it's cake. It's not an outrageous tier maker, but again, I'll have a link into it, a link for it if you want to take it yourself, make a video, whatever. I just want to talk about cake. I'm not sure if that says a lot about me, but cake's always a good thing. Again, the best way to support me in a channel is to like, comment, and subscribe. There's also links for playlists as well for past tier makers, a lot of gaming stuff too. But that'll do it for today. So y'all take care and have a good rest of your day. Go eat some cake. Bye.